Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises, honor to the Most High through His only begotten Son, Lord Hamashiac, the one that the whole world called ignorant of Jesus Christ. For we know for sure that the letter J was created like 600 or 500 years ago by a French and an Italian guy. So without any further ado, let's jump to the topic of today. What does it mean to serve the Lord? What does it really mean to serve the Lord, right? So we're going to dive into that, and we're going to go through a couple of examples to understand how to serve the Lord. Because in the Christian church, they make us believe back in those days when we used to be Christian, that to serve the Most High, you just need to love everybody, okay, with your mouth, right? Or give money to everybody, or clothing, and go to church to worship the Son on Sunday, right? Pretty much, that's what I was taught till I grew up, till the Most High woke me up. That's why I was used to going to church on Sunday, even though on my own, because I have been drunken of the wine of this world, which is Christianity, right? Mainly, I don't care which denomination you go to, same thing, right? So, what does it really mean to serve the Lord? Let's see. I'm going to go to the book of Matthew first. Let's go to Matthew, right? Let's go to Matthew in the beginning, and we're going to use an example of what does it mean to serve the Lord, right? We'll see an example of what does it mean to serve the Lord, right? So we're going to go over there to the book of Matthew, and we're going to read verses 9, right? So this is the book of Matthew, chapter 9 and verses 9. Let's touch it up. He said, and as Yahushua passed forth from thence, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the receipt of custom. And he said unto him, follow me. That's all Christ said. Hamashiac, that's all he said. He didn't start conversation. Hey, yo, hey, are you busy right now? Do you have 1 minute for me? Can I talk to you? Things like that. He said, let's see. He said, follow me. And he arose. And this is what Matthew literally did. So this brother, he got some knowledge. So you can see he worked at an office. In the office, he got a government job, like office job, because he was what? A tax collector, right? For who? For the Roman Empire, so-called white people back in those days. Let's continue. He said, follow me. To what Christ said. To what? Follow me, right? And what is his reaction? He said, and he arose and followed him. So what did Matthew do? Matthew, what did he do? He followed Christ. He didn't question. He didn't say, but you know what? I'm working right now, man. I can't do that, man. I can get fired. Things like that. Because guess what? Today, in this world we're living in, right, is a very, very wicked world. I'm going to give you an example. Many of our people, many of our brothers, they're right now, today, as we speak, as I speak today, on the byway, on the highway, on the internet, on YouTube, Facebook, all these. So some of them will travel to different places to go teach the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian. Guess what? They still don't want to happen. Now, we use that the example of this elder, Matthew, apostle. What did he do? Christ just used two words. He said, follow me. His brother, he knows how to write. You can't tell, because they said he's what? Sitting at the receipt of a custom. It's the same thing like you go to a DMV, or you go to the tax office. Let's suppose you go to the how do you call it? Whatever you pay your property taxes, things like that. Same thing. So this is the type of job the brother had. Or this brother will say literally he was working at the IRS, like today in the USA. That was his job. He was working at the IRS. But this brother is like, let's suppose a Hebrew Israelite brother, right? Let's suppose a Hebrew Israelite brother from any camps, right? Go to a store, or go to the IRS, or go to a building, right? When he see one of our people, yo, bro, follow me. We got to serve the Lord. What's going to happen to him? They'll call the police on him, or they'll tell you, are you crazy? You want me to lose my job? How am I going to pay my bill? How am I going to feed my family? Because why? Because in this world, we've been programmed that the best way to serve the Most High is just to work, which is totally opposite to the Most High. The Most High says, yeah, work. But at the same time, you got to serve the Most High. You have to make up time to serve the Most High. And when you are given the opportunity, you got to take it. Now, it's up to you to take it or you reject it. Now, Matthew, right? He didn't reject it. He took it. He didn't even know where Christ told him, follow me. He didn't know maybe Christ is bringing him to slaughter him, because he didn't know Christ. You didn't know Christ from anywhere. Because when you read, maybe there's some more detail, but based on what we're reading right in your Bible, in my Bible right now, it says, and as Yahushua passed far from, then he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the receipt of custom, and he said unto him, "To what? Follow me." And he arose and followed him. So what did Matthew do? Matthew, he quit his job. Now, how many of you so-called blacks, Latino, and Native, are you willing to quit your job when a Hebrew Israelite brother, a brother come up to you, or a brother, you watch a brother video? We are not even telling you to quit your job. Because we know that, okay, well, you got to pay your things that we understand. But hearkening, to fear the Most High. How do you fear the Most High? You start changing. Why you need to change? Because Christ told you in the book of John chapter 3, ye must, unless ye be born again, you cannot make it to the kingdom. How can you be saved? Oh, well, because you were taught that if you go to church on Sunday, right? Guess what? You're going to die and go to hell. It's up to you. To believe this thing we're telling you, it's up to you. Are we asking you for money? No. Now, it's up to you. We're giving you the opportunity. Christ is using us to give you the opportunity. Christ, he is using us to give you the opportunity. All the Hebrew Israelite camps you see throughout the whole United States, in the Caribbean, in England, in Europe, wherever they be, in Africa, all the brothers bringing forth this doctrine with sincerity and truth, right? Guess what? Christ is using them all. Christ is using all, whether it be through the internet, YouTube, SoundCloud, any social network or media that you see, you come across them. Some of you don't believe it. Oh no, I don't believe that. You guys are separate. Guess what? The Most High never want people together. No. Now let's continue. Let's go to the book of Mark, chapter 2. Let's see what Mark has to say about the same story. So this is the book of Mark, chapter 2. Right, this is the book of Mark, chapter 2. And let's jump to verses 14. This is the book of Mark, chapter 2, and verse 14. And as he passed by, he saw Levi, so the son of Alphaeus. Okay, so now here's another name for who? Matthew. Matthew was known as, his name originally was what? Levi. So his name was Levi, right? So not saying that he's from the tribe of Levi, which he could be from the tribe of Levi. You know, I went into some detail to find out which tribe is he from. So it's kind of hard. So maybe he's from the tribe of Levi. I don't know. I'm just saying. But here you say, he saw Levi, the son of Alphaeus, sitting at the receipt of custom, and said unto him, "Follow me." And he arose and followed him. So why did he just follow Christ, not knowing Christ? No way. They are not friends. No way. So imagine in this world we're living in. This Christian man, especially this Christian, this rebellious and the evil, witches Christian. Why? Because what it is, you see them on the highway, on the byway, in front of a store, whatever you so-called Latino, Native Indian, or blacks, and you stop. Because it happened to me on a daily basis. When I go teach, I be calling them, "Yo, you got 1 minute for the Most High?" They tell you, "No, I'm busy." Straight up. Some of them, you be calling them, "Hey, oh, hold up. Hey, guess what?" They walk past you, they act as if they're blind. But guess what? It's beautiful that they're doing that. It's all praise to the Most High. Why? Because the Most High, he doesn't want everybody to be saved. The Most High does not want everybody in his kingdom. No, it's not happening. That's why the Most High, he allows Satan to rule over them. Why? Because the Most High already know before the beginning that this bastard, that won't happen. Excuse me for the language. He said, this rebellious and wicked Negro, Latino and Native, they won't happen. They will not happen. Why? Because they're drunk already of the lie, the deception of this world. They're drunk already. They don't care. You have 1 minute? No. The brother be teaching for so long. Many of our brothers, which we will call them elders, the Most High wake them up like 10 years ago. Some be woke up like 20 years ago. Some 22, some 25. And this brother has been warning, teaching people, letting them know, like love, think. This evil, wicked, rebellious Negro, Latino, and Native, they won't happen. And evil be coming up on them on a daily basis, and they be wondering because the Christian church cannot give them the answer. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? You see what I'm saying? So that's what he did. Let's jump. What does it mean to serve the Most High? What does it mean to serve the Most High? Let's go to the beginning. We'll go to the beginning and see what were we supposed to do as a nation, so-called blacks, Latino, and Native. What were we supposed to do? Were we just supposed to have a job, to get a job, to make a baby, and just live and have party, have fun fun over here, fun over there. You know, it's just all we were made on the earth to do. We'll find it out. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy. We'll go to Deuteronomy 10 and 12. This is the book of Deuteronomy. It's called the requirements of Yahweh. The requirement of Yahweh. What is the most require of you, so-called blacks, Latino? Do you require you to go worship the sun on Sunday? Do you just require you that you born on earth, you do whatever you want? You can sell drugs, you can kill, you can be a Christian. Did he require? Let's see what the Most High, what is his requirement. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10, and verse 12. And now Israel, did he say Christian? No. That's the thing I always repeat in my edification. I want it to be clear. The Bible has nothing to do with Christianity. It's not because you read it one time in the book of Acts, chapter 11, verse 26. No, that was what? A mockery. They were mocking the apostle. They were mocking our forefather. They were called. It's like they call our people so many. Like, look, my name is what? Is a French, English freaking name I have. Okay? If my last name is not correct, why? Because the letter J, right? The letter J, right? It was not in the Hebrew alphabet in the beginning. So how did it end up? Why do I have a letter J in my last name? That means that's not originally my last name. Okay? So the point is making is that many of people, they have been deceived, they've been programmed by what? This word. This word is so wicked today. So if you compare it to the time of Noah, it's more evil, like 1,000 times more evil than in the time of Noah. But you don't believe it. You don't believe it. Now, the wanted be saved, don't think it's from this generation. The majority is not from this generation. The wanted that will be saved, the majority of them were taken already since the time of what? After like our forefather. Back in those days, there were less TV, there were no TV, all these things. The people were more righteous and God-fearing back in those days compared to today. Today is more evil, right? Let's see. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10, verse 12 to 14. It says, and now Israel, what does the Lord that God require of thee? So what does the Most High require, want from us, as the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian? Let's see. He said, but, you see, but is like what? Is what? To go opposite. What does it mean? Is it but? That means what? That to fear the Lord that God. So now how do you fear the Most High? How do you fear Yahweh? How do you fear the Lord? If He will tell you, I don't have to go to another place. He will show you. To fear the Lord that God, to walk in all His way. You see, you walk in all His way. What is the way of the Most High? A man, you can't shave your beard. You can't break the Sabbath. A woman cannot wear a pant. You see what I'm saying? A woman cannot rule over her husband. Right? Exactly. Let's continue. You got to teach the little kid, your kid, to fear the Most High. By what? Teaching the Lord the commandment. Let's continue. He said to walk in all His way and to love Him. So how do you love the Most High? How do you love the Most High? Let's continue. He will tell you. And to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul. You see? He said, and to serve. Our duty as a man and woman on this earth, mainly the man was to serve the Most High. The woman served the Most High by what? Putting the young girl and the young woman into what? Into righteousness. Putting this young woman and some of the wicked of them that are off into what? Into the spirit of Hamashiac. Not going to church on Sunday, not being out there wearing pants, all your boobs, everything outside and showing up like you stripping in the club, all things like that. It was not about that. Let's suppose you were in the life, you were in that lifestyle before, but now today you gotta repent and you gotta be born. Then apply this law, this commandment. That's the only way you can make it to the kingdom. You can't make it to the kingdom. The Pharisees, they kept the law, they understood the law. The scribe, these are the master of the law, the Most High law. They kept the law, everything. But guess what Christ said? Christ said, if our righteousness does not exceed the righteousness, we will never make it to the kingdom. What does it mean? That means barely a tiny number of our people make it to the kingdom. It's a small number, 1/3. Only 1/3 is going to make it to the kingdom. What does it mean? The Most High will kill 2/3. Why? Because you don't want to serve the Most High. You just want to live and make money, have 2 jobs, 3 jobs over here, 2 jobs just for working. You want to build the big mansion. You want to have the big mansion in El Salvador. You want to have the big mansion in Benin. You want to have the big mansion in Ghana. You want to have the big mansion in Togo. You want to have the big mansion in Guinea. Or you want all the big houses in Manassas. You want all the big houses. That's what you have in your mind. Because you think you just live to make money. I want to make a career. So, okay, guess what? Now, if your career is being handicapped, what? to the kingdom of the Most High, guess what? You got to cut that career off. You got to humble yourself. All this is a part of fearing the Most High. When you fear the Most High, you're scared. When you read the Bible, you literally scared. You're like, oh my goodness, oh, God's coming to kill. You see what I'm saying? Because he's the omnipotent. He can kill me right now if the Most High want to, without giving no one, detail, things like, no, he doesn't have to. He's my only father, literally. He's the only literally father. Okay, let's continue. He said, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandment of the Lord, to keep the. Did he say to go to church? Did he say to be a religious? No, he said to keep the commandment of the Lord. How many commandments? Let's continue. And his statutes, which are commanded this day for thy good. So if we do that, it will be well with us. Right now, let's go. Let's go to the book of Matthew 22. We'll go back to Matthew. Let's go to Matthew chapter 22. This is the book of Matthew chapter 22. And let's read verse 37. I'm going to just jump on that straight. This is the book of Matthew chapter 22 and verse 37. He said, and Yahawashi, he said, I'm going to read from 34. He said, but when the Pharisees had heard that he had told the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, so he know the law. He know the law. He know all the law, the 613 laws and commandments. Ask him a question, tempting him. So he already know the law. It's not like he doesn't know, but he got a demon on himself. He got a devil on himself. He said, tempting him, saying, Master. So he called Christ Master, Lord, right? He said, which is the great commandment in the law? What is the most important thing that we have to do? Now he will tell them, let's see. He said, Yahawashi said unto him, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart. So how can you love the Most High? I told you is to serve him. Let's continue. Love thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind. You see? So that's what Christ respond to him, right? But he knew better. That's why he know the law. He's a master of the law, right? He's a master. Now let's continue. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy. Because for rebelling and not hearkening, things happen unto us. Right? Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. Right? 28, we read 45 through. This is the book of Deuteronomy. I'm going to grab it from my other Bible, because this one's going to turn apart. So this is the book of Deuteronomy. Okay? Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and let's read verse 45 through 48. He said, moreover, all these curses. So this is the reason why you so-called blacks, Latino, and Native, you live in the condition you live in. That's why you got to clean houses like crazy. That's why you got to cut grass like crazy. That's why you got to stalk. That's why you got to work like crazy. You got to work like a donkey. Okay? Even though there's no police behind you, you know better than you got to do everything right on point. Because you go off, you get fired, and you get sued also too. Guess what? Why? Because we don't fear the Most High. Let's see. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee. So this curse is going to overtake us. That's why we live in the condition we live in. That's why we live in the ghetto. That's why we live in the bottom places. All the dirty, the nasty. That's why we got to still rely on the government to get free milk, to get free food, free things, free this, etc. Why? Because the Most High placed the curses upon us. How many of the Chinese people or the so-called East Indian, how many of them do you see them living on the free food? White people, a lot of them live on free food. We know that. A lot of them live on free food. Plenty of them are white people. Okay, they're the top one today. Based on the statistic, if you go look on the statistic on the internet, what race of people live mostly on the world, on the social welfare is so-called white people, and followed by who? Blacks and Latino. Okay? You don't see so much of, you don't have a lot of East African, like I refer to, like when I say East African, I'm talking to people like from Somalia, Ethiopia, Sudan, Kenya, things like that. A lot of them live on free food. They come over here to collect free food too. A lot of them, right? But we're talking about our people. We are worried about the other people. We're worried about so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian, right? Because the curses were placed upon you. It was not placed upon them. So when you look at the other nation, in general, as a nation, they don't suffer these curses. Why? Because it was not for them. So the curse was given only to the children of Israel, the children of the Most High. So let's continue. He said, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God to keep his commandment. He said, because you don't want to keep the commandment of the Most High and his statutes which he command thee. Let's continue. Verse 46. And there shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder. So this curse is upon us. So that's how you know who are the children of God. Who are the Hebrew Israelites? Who are the Israelites? Who are the real Jew? Is that those so-called white people? Is that those so-called Jewish people? Are they the real people? Let's see. He said, and upon thy seed forever. That's why blacks, Latino, and Native Americans will still suffering till this very last day. And it's going to continue until all the prophecy be fulfilled, until all be done, until everything be done. The curses won't be taken away. The curses is still going to be upon that. Anyone individual among the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native, based on your father, you break one of these laws, guess what? The curse is upon you. You're going to get destroyed. It doesn't matter. Let's continue. Verse 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. You see, why? Why this curse is placed upon us? Because we do not want to serve the Most High. Oh, you believe that, oh, you thought that you just need to go to UVA, VCU, or Harvard University and become a top Freemason and get a job and become like a boss, a manager. You know, I'm a CEO of Amazon. I'm a CEO. You think that's all you were made on the earth to do, right? Guess what? That was not all you were made on the earth to do. You were made on the earth to serve the Most High. How? You apply the law wherever you are. It doesn't matter. At your work, at your house, with your friend, you apply the law, everything within the Bible. You go to a restaurant and some devil, some bastard give you a food, bloody meat. You tell them, we don't eat that. You got to be fully down. Take that crap from my face. I want you fully down. Things like that. Somebody offer you pork. You say, we don't deal with that. Before we eat it in the blindness, in the darkness. Today we be born again. We don't deal with that. Get out from my face. Things like that. That's the way we're supposed to be. We raise our kid, not raise the kid like eggs. Oh, don't talk to my baby. Guess what? The same baby you don't want anybody to talk to, you can raise that baby. 20 years, 15 years ago, he become a drug dealer. He become a sex offender. He become a criminal. He become a war. Like, whatever you name it. He become a murderer, a killer. He grab a gun and kill somebody. But you the wicked, you evil. Why? Because instead of rebuking that kid when he was born and putting him into check, you raise him like an egg. You destroy the life of that kid. And that kid end up being where? The same government tell you, okay, don't do anything to the kid, leave him alone. Guess what? He throw the same kid into the jail. Or the same government to tell you, don't hurt the kid. Guess what? The same government tell the police, kill him, put him to death, shoot him if they move. If they don't lift their hand up or they put their hands up, just kill them. And then we're going to defend you. Same thing. Because you're foolish. You so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Americans. We're foolish. We're very foolish people. Evil people. We don't have wisdom, man. We hate God. We don't want to serve the Most High. We just want to serve our enemy. Now, guess what? The Most High, he knew, okay, since you want to serve me, I'm going to give you up to somebody you want to serve. Guess what? If we were to serve the Most High, he'd be blessing us with all things. Guess what? Since we don't want to serve the Most High, guess what? The Most High said, I'm going to let your enemies. Who? Enemy. I thought these were friends. Do friend put his friend into slavery? Do friend put his friend to death? Do friend hang his brother? Look, can any friend hang you? You see that picture on my left? Can any friend, you have a friend that can hang you? You have a friend that take you as a slave? You have a friend that come and murder 100 million of his friends? Do you see that? Can a friend do that? No. That's why the Most High said we're going to serve our enemy. And let me read it. That's the last verses for this Deuteronomy 28. Verse 48. He said, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies with which the Lord shall send against thee. So the Most High literally send them against us. The Most High send these so-called white people, Chinese, East Indian, all the other nations, the Arabs, or whatever you name it. Okay, he send them against us. Why? Because we don't want to serve the Most High. The Most High told us in the beginning, he said, listen, man, I put before you life and good, but pick life. Now, if you decide to pick evil, guess what? You're going to perish. Right? So let's continue. He said, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy, which the Lord, Yahweh, shall send against thee in hunger, in thirst, in nakedness, in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he hath destroyed thee. Guess what? Where do you go when you need anything? For example, for any Negro to go to Europe or America, guess what you need? You need a passport and you need a visa. Who give you the visa? Who came up with the visa? So-called white people. The Moses said, these are our enemies. So if you work for them, or you're working in Benin, or you're working wherever you're working, I don't care their location. Guess what? Who you serving? You're serving your enemies. Don't think you're serving your people, because at the end of the game, it's not black people that came up with the education system, the bank system. Who you serving? Who set up those things? Our enemies. That's what the Most High say. You got any problem with that? You Antichrist. If you don't listen, if you're getting problem because I'm bringing this thing up and you think I'm going off, guess what? You're an antichrist. Because anyone that does not partake of this doctrine of that son of Most High, guess what? You're antichrist. It's very simple, man. I've told you many over time. The antichrist is not just one single politician or one single. There is hundreds, millions of antichrists. Anyone. For example, I tell you, the majority of the Muslims, the East Indian, okay, those of you that make voodoo, which is you bunch of antichrist, you don't believe it? The majority of you in Christianity, you antichrist too. Guess what? Because when we talk to you to listen, you won't listen. If you rebel against Christ, what does the scripture say? When you go to the book of 1 Samuel, right, chapter 15, verse 23 or 22 to 20, what does it say? He said, witchcraft is a rebellion is at the sin of witchcraft. Rebellion. So you're rebelling against the Most High. What does it mean? You're witches. So you're antichrist. You see what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. Let's go back to the book of Malachi. Let's go to Malachi. Right? I'm going to touch on Malachi quick. Let's go to Malachi. This is the book of Malachi. So that's got to be the last book before you go to what Christians call the New Testament. Right? So this is the book of Malachi, chapter 4. No, chapter 3. I'm going to read it. He said, this is the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verses 17 through 18. He said, then it shall be mine, said the Lord of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels. So the Most High say when he make up a jewel is something precious. Like you take good care of it. So the Most High here, the jewel are what? The so-called what? Blacks, Latino, and Native. Those ones that fear the Most High and keep the Lord the commandment. The one that keep the Lord the commandment of the Most High. Those are the jewels of the Most High. The saint, the righteous one. Let's see. And I will spare them. So the Most High will spare and he will have mercy upon them. Those ones that fear the Most High. As a man spare his own son that serve him. Why did the Most High say he's going to spare them? Because they serve the Most High. How do you serve the Most High? You keep his law, his commandment, and you teach your wife, you teach your brother, you teach your father, you teach your mother, you teach all those around you. Whether they want to forbear or they want to hear. Regardless, it doesn't matter. You tell them and you keep on moving. Okay, that's what we were supposed to do. Let's see. He said, as a man spare his own son, that serve him. So when you serve the Most High, he will spare you. Let's continue. Verses 18. Then shall he return. So why he said we will return? We will be given back a new body, a new life, everything, right? When Christ comes back. And discern between the righteous and the wicked. So the Most High said there'll be a difference. We'll be able to see, okay, these were wicked people, these were righteous people, right? Let's see. To discern, because the word discern means well, you'll be able to make the difference between the righteous and the wicked, between him that served Yahweh and him that served him not. So you'll be able to see whoever served the Most High and who did not. That's why I keep on warning you over and over. You got to serve the Most High. Let's go to the book of Matthew. No, Luke actually. Luke chapter 5. Let's go to the book of Luke chapter 5, right? So Luke, he got a different account of that. This is the book of Luke chapter 5. And we read from verses 27, if I'm not wrong. This is the book of Luke, chapter 5. And let's read from verses 27 through 28. And after this thing, he went forth and saw a publican. So this brother was also a publican, right? Like a sinner, something like that. Named Levi, sitting at the receipt of the custom. And he said unto him, follow me. And he left all. So this brother, he quit his job. How many of you so-called blacks, Latino, and Native can quit your job to serve the Most High? How many of you? Without any promise. Because Christ ain't going to tell you that, oh, if you do it, you got to have faith. The first is that you believe in that if you serve Christ, right, guess what? You're going to get a reward later on. Right? Not with right, not pressuring Christ. Oh, but you say you're going to do this. Blah, blah. No. So look at this brother. And he left all, rose up, and followed him. So this brother, he followed Christ. He followed Christ. Who? Matthew. He left his job. He got a job at the IRS. This is a top job. He quit it. He said, hell with collecting taxes from the people. I don't want that job. He quit it. He said, I'm done. Point blank. Finish. So we have to repent. Repent.